Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be looking at 20 money mistakes to avoid in your 20s. Now, overall, with me having a little bit more experience, being a little bit older, there are again a lot of money mistakes that I've kind of made throughout the years that I'm hoping younger generations can avoid, including my kids, with some of these easy money mistakes. Now, number one, spending more than you make. This is a very easy thing to do, guys, with the ability to get loans, with the extension of credit cards, really living within your means or actually living under your means essentially gives you the ability to do things that you normally wouldn't have the ability to because of debt. We talk on the channel a lot about debt and financing, the burden that it is. But when it comes to living inside of your means, meaning that the money that you get during a monthly paycheck, at the end of the month, you still have money left over, or you're right on par. Zero budgeting is the way that I do it. But making sure if you're living outside of your means, this is not sustainable. It is something that is going to catch up with you. It is going to be debt. It is going to be bills piling up. It is going to be added stress. Learning to be very happy with what you have and what you make, being grateful, empowering it. It is going to get better, guys. Usually in your 20s, you are starting out at very basic entry-level jobs for a majority of us, or you're sitting on student loan debt, but making sure, again, that you're living below your means. Now, number two, not tracking your money. This is one of the biggest things that I see with the younger generation is they have no idea not only what they get paid, where the money goes, what they're paying, if they have 401ks, if they're putting money in IRAs. Most people, again, have no idea where their money is going. If I had you break down, you got paid on a Friday, you don't have any money on Monday, where did your money go? Majority of individuals cannot tell me where it did go. Now, number three, financial goals. Just like you set personal goals, you set, goals in your life, what you want to do, what you want to go to school for. Financial goals is something you have to focus on and you have to set earlier in life, guys. It doesn't magically happen. If you wait till you're later in life, you're going to have a lot of catching up to do. If you got to pay off debt, if you need a new computer, saving for a car, whatever it may be, guys, set a financial goal. If you plan to have your student loan debt paid off in a certain amount of time, if you plan to have a certain amount for a brand new home as a down payment, set those financial goals and set those goals early. Number four, living off credit cards. This is absolutely one of the fastest ways not only to absolutely crush your credit score, but the stress and burden that comes with living off credit cards. It is really the huge bad thing. If you're using a credit card, possibly in a crunch, even if you have a very high expense, there are other ways to get funds, even short-term loans, versus living off the credit cards. Now, number five, not having an emergency fund. This is another thing that we really stress, guys, is most people, 67% of Americans, do not have $400 for an unexpected expense. So if your tire goes out, if your car is broken, if you need money for something that is unexpected, that is where the emergency fund comes in. Setting at least $1,000 aside, making sure, again, that you have that financial stability with that emergency fund. Number six, telling yourself financial lies. Now, this is very cool. When you think about it, bigger picture, thinking of your job, when you get a raise, making sure that you are not avoiding everything financially. You have to look at your bills. You have to look at your financial statements. There are a lot of places when you look at your credit unions, when you look at financial counseling, there's a ton of places you can get a ton of help, and it is absolutely free. That is one of the big things, guys, is a lot of people that do come in for financial counseling are already in a really bad spot, whether it is looking at bankruptcy, has an absorbent amount of debt, all of the cards are borrowed and maxed out, so now they can't borrow any more money. That is not the time you want to start painting your story, guys. You want to start it bright and early in your 20s, making sure that you have a plan. And number seven, not taking advantage of free time to earn extra money. Most people I know, especially again, younger generation, has a side hustle, whether it's YouTube, whether it's TikTok, whether it is whatever, guys, whatever you love to do, whatever you're passionate about. I don't watch very much TV at all, short of playing games, which I do for YouTube. Again, there is not an incredible amount of spare time in my life that I don't utilize for either making extra money, spending time with my family, doing things that I love and enjoy. You need a side hustle. It is really the day and age, guys, where one job is not enough for a majority of people. Number eight, putting off retirement. This is really a huge, huge miss, I feel. So when you start a new job, put away 15% of your salary. That's it. If you start a new job, let's say you're 18, you're 16, you're 18, you're 20, whenever you can contribute into a 401k retirement plan, put away 15%. That's it. If that is literally all that you invest for your entire life is 15% of your salary, when you start getting 10, 20, 30, 40, I mean, shoot, even now people working 50 years of 15% of your salary going away, chances are you are going to have a massive retirement just from the growth factor alone over 15 or over 50 years with 15% of your income. In addition, when you set that 15% aside from the beginning, you know what you're saving, you know where it's going, and you can budget to the bills without that 15%. Makes incredible sense, especially being younger. Number 9, taking calculated risks. This is something that you really want to focus on, especially younger in life, guys. This is where you're going to take risks, whether it's jobs, whether it's business ventures, whether it's investing, anything like that. When you're younger, when you're in your 20s, you have the ability to take a ton of risks. You don't have kids, you don't have marriages, you don't have mortgages, you don't have a majority of the obligations that we have, which is the reason why I know YOLO was a big thing a while ago, but that is where people kind of get it, is taking the risks or doing the things you want to when you're young, because there is a time and a place for it before you add on all of those financial responsibilities that you see in the future. Number 10, allowing college expense to balloon. This is kind of crazy, guys, but college tuition, the cost itself has almost doubled since the 80s. So in the last 40 years, we have seen tuition actually double, if not over double, depending on the institution. This is the reason why a lot of people are starting off in community colleges, transferring to a 4-year degree. When you transfer to, let's say, a Michigan State or U of M, where I'm at, you can go ahead and get that degree. It's not going to say, hey, you started at a community college, you came to U of M, you're going to get that same 4-year degree at a minimal cost. You can also look at buying a lot of used books, applying for scholarships, looking for anything that can bring the cost of tuition down, because it is kind of crazy. A lot of people also get part-time jobs, working in the summer, saving for tuition, utilizing that money to save and minimizing what you have to pay back. And number 11, paying off the wrong debts first. This is really something that I see a lot, guys. When you look at people putting a lot of extra money towards student loans, could it be better allocated elsewhere? That is really when you look at good debt, or when you look at regular debt and you look at bad debt. Any part of the bad debt, which is a majority of unsecured loans, credit cards, anything that is not tied to actually collateral, such as a home mortgage, car loans, things of that nature, is really the bad debt. Looking at what kind of interest rates you're paying, how can you get it cheaper, and how can you pay off this debt as soon as possible. Credit card rates at this point are 23%, which is incredibly crazy to think that people are paying 23%, and we're almost to $1 trillion as a nation when it comes to credit card debt. Number 12, not building good credit. This is something that does take an amount of time, but if you have good credit and you maintain good credit, things are cheaper for your entire life. That is right, guys. Forever, things will be cheaper with a good credit score. When you go to get a loan, you'll get approved. When you go to get a mortgage, you'll get approved. Credit utilization, one of the absolute biggest things, guys. When you're using credit cards, you have to be super responsible, living off as low as possible, keeping your limits as low as possible on those cards to really make sure that you're not carrying balances, that you're not utilizing more than 30% of that card. Now, number 13, checking your credit score. There are a lot of places, including Discover Card, that offers you a free credit report or free credit score every single month. Guys, utilize something, whether it's Credit Karma, whether it's Discover, whatever it may be, monitor and track your credit score. Not only so you know essentially where you stand with your credit score, what kind of rate you're going to get if you apply for a loan, but also if there are big variations to your credit score. One, can you improve it? And two, is it fraud? That is really a good method through the fraud prevention systems. Again, a lot of them are free, which is awesome. It is very cool to see that we've gotten to the point where a lot of those are free. Number 14, going into debt for a luxury ride. This, again, is one of the most detrimental things that I see. When I see someone who's 21, 22, just got out of college, that's looking to buy, let's say, a new Camaro, that has a price tag of $60,000. That is way too much. It is way too much car to be that young. I know it is cool. I know it is awesome to see, a flashy car, but great if you don't have any debt, if you don't have any obligations, if you don't have any bills, anything like that. If you're investing money, go ahead and buy the car. Might not need to spend that much on a new car, but overall, guys, if you're, getting a luxury ride or buying an expensive car versus utilizing some of that money to repay debt, paying off the student loans that you have just accumulated, or even saving for future you, trust me, in 20 years, you'll thank yourself for investing and paying off that debt versus getting the cool car that you would never even have anymore. Number 15 is careless spending. This is really spending a lot of things when it comes to paycheck. So shopping sprees, when you look at even a lot of the habits like coffee every single day, make a grocery list, pack your lunch, don't eat out all the time. There's a lot of different ways to save money, especially when it comes to like nicotine and smoking, energy drinks, things of that nature. They are very expensive, guys. They can crush your budget. They said on average $3,500 per year is spent on cigarettes for one individual if you are a smoker. I'm sure there's a lot of places you could look at your life where $3,500 would make a big difference if you utilized it anywhere else. Now, number 16, they talk about renter's insurance. Now, this is something, if you're moving out for the first time, renter's insurance is super cheap, guys. Honestly, when I had renter's insurance, it was $17. A lot of people don't think about it, but small monthly expense of renter's insurance is totally worth it if something ever happens. We were actually at an apartment complex. They had a fire. A couple people had renter's insurance, a couple didn't. One person got all of their stuff replaced with brand new stuff. The other person was literally out everything they had. Very, very heartbreaking and difficult to hear and see. But for the sheer cost of renter's insurance, guys, go ahead and buy it. I'm a big advocate for insurance, and that is one of them. Bringing us to point number 17, health insurance. Making sure that if you are not covered any longer on your family's health insurance, getting health insurance, guys. If there's a medical emergency, it is going to, and it has completely bankrupted people, guys, because of not having health insurance. It is super expensive. One trip to the ER can be several thousands of dollars. Even I just had a team member that had a baby, $60,000 doctor bill. That is right, $60,000 coming out of having a child. If there's medical problems, if there's complications, if there's things of that nature, the cost can go just absolutely parabolic when it comes to the cost of health insurance. Number 18, not discussing finances with a significant other. This is something that, again, leads to a lot of divorces, a lot of fights, a lot of the money conversations. You and your partner need to be on the same page when it comes to finances. Having a review, having a sit down, having a conversation on a regular basis. That way, any bigger decisions are made mutually, not individually, because you are a team when you have your significant other. Make them really feel like it. Number 19, and again, this is something that I have to say I see more than I would ever like to, going in debt for a wedding. I have seen people come in. The average wedding today in 2023 ranges about $34,000, which is more than half of the median household income, which is insane, guys. $34,000 for an average wedding. I see a lot of people coming into the financial center that says, hey, we're getting married. Congratulations. I need to borrow $18,000. You are literally starting your life off in debt, $18,000 in debt, or even 5 years at that point in debt to have a wedding. I would look at where you can cut back. What can you save? Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe there's, a different venue, a different thing. I know for a lot of people, it is an absolute magical day, which it should be, but can you afford with your parents, with financing, whatever it may be, trying to really create a budget for the wedding, not putting yourself in long-term debt, especially when you're starting out in a brand new marriage, that you're not going into deep debt. And our final one, guys, is when you're starting a family, get a financial plan. That honestly is one of the biggest things. So it is estimated that it costs $245,000 to raise one single child from birth to age 18. That is right, guys. $250,000 to raise a child. So if you get two, that is right, $500,000 to raise that child. Making sure that you're budgeting, guys. When it comes to a baby, when it comes to formula, when it comes to diapers, when it comes to daycare, there is an incredible amount of costs that come and are associated with having children, which makes starting with the financial plan, budgeting for it, and knowing exactly where your money is going to work. Now, we've said this before, and a lot of people say every dollar has a purpose. You need to know exactly what you're doing with your money, where you're utilizing that money, where you can save money. And again, I hope this really serves someone well. My goal of this channel is really to educate you. Hopefully, again, I reach out and I help at least one person every single time we do the video. 20 money mistakes to avoid when you are in your 20s, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.